problem is when you use the Keselowski line, and Brad is the only guy who really did it well this afternoon. By the time, Jeff, you get down to turn 3 in front of you, the car is pushing hard up the banking. And that's what happened to Elliott Sadler. He just couldn't hold it down.
Well, you know, and I'm just not so sure that he did get some contact on the back end. By the way, the good news is that Elliott is up and out of his race car, pounds the top of the roof and obvious disjection. And now just to focus on the other drivers involved here. A vicious lick when Morgan Shepherd got in and literally took the back end off of Jason Leffler's car. Jason now has climbed out of his machine. Eric Almirola now popping up out of his car, waiting on Morgan Shepherd. All of these drivers headed to the Infield Care Center. But Joe, it's just hard to see per se whether or not somebody got into the back of Elliott, made that bonsai run down the inside, trying to make it almost like the World of Outlaws car, where you just kind of slide across the nose of the other drivers. Elliott had that pass made, but then he obviously had to get on the brakes, get the car under control. That stacked everybody up behind him. And man, oh man, I'll tell you what, it was a vicious crash down here in turn number 3, all ending up almost into the middle of turn number 4.
Sadler's body language would indicate that he did get help going into turn 3. He is looking for another driver, and I don't want to name who it is until we hear from Elliott Sadler. But apparently there was some contact when he went into turn 3.
Well, again, let's remember, when he left turn 2, they were 3 wide. He was down at the bottom of the racetrack, so there certainly was the opportunity for that. He had the lady had passed both those cars before he got to turn number 3. So until we see the replay, we won't know for sure. But pretty safe bet. There was some contact going on with the corner. Now they've stopped the cars on the back straightaway. The red flag is out because there's a ton of cleanup taking place between turns 3 and 4.
So while they make that cleanup, we will take a break. 25 laps remain in the white ball 200.
Well, you see the drivers, and you see Morgan Shepherd walking away from his car now. He was involved in that, actually came out of turn 3. He had nowhere to go, and his car suffered some severe damage, as did the other cars involved in this. If we get a replay up on it, there's Elliott Sadler's car, and if you watch Sprint Vision, you're going to see the replay. Elliott Sadler goes down below that line we talked about in the dog leg. He gets there, and then it looks like Jason Leffler got into him as he went into 3, and that sent Elliott Sadler up into the outside wall. And then watch Morgan Shepherd come sliding in there. He had nowhere to go. Here's another look at it. Sadler down below, 3 wide with Almirola and Leffler. He makes the pass by going down low on that flat surface of the dog leg, comes back up. He's got them both cleared, and there comes Leffler. He gets into the rear of Elliott Sadler's car, and
back here, and
that was the beginning.
International Raceway, by virtue of replays right now here. Joe, I'm going to wait until I hear from the drivers involved, and namely Elliott Sadler and Jason Leffler. Categorize this as a racing incident. Categorize this as a lot of things. I'm sure the bigger will begin, but that was just tough. Sadler came up across Jason Leffler right in front of him.
He made that 3 wide move off turn number 2. By the time he got to 3, he pulled right up in front of Leffler, and whether it was a matter of he pulled in front of Leffler and Leffler couldn't slow down, or Leffler just said, I didn't really care for that. Yeah, hard to say from our position, but again, it took out Almirola's car, it took out Sadler's car, it took out Leffler's car. Let's see, another one coming in. Jeremy Clemens was involved, Morgan Shepherd involved over there. Massive crash still is completely littering the racetrack between turns 3 and 4. Let's check with Jeff Striegel for the cleanup there.
Well, the cleanup's going to be a little while yet, that's for sure. Now, all of the cars have been removed here, with the exception of the wholesaler here at Almirola, but that car is on the hook and will be moving here shortly. Now, the focus of attention right now is a lot of fluid has been laid down, so soak-up is being applied. The crews are now working on that. In fact, here goes Eric Almirola's car beginning to pull away. There's a lot of sheet metal that's kind of been collected and laid up against the outside retaining wall, so a lot of work to do.